Welcome to another Dojo topic. I'm really excited to share this topic with you. As a reminder, we meet at the Dojo virtually every single week, and you're welcome to join us. I'm going to share my screen with you so that you can see what we were doing today. If you were unable to join us live, this is a repeat of the topic. However, you don't get the advantage of being part of the conversation like you do when you join us live. So I hope that you really enjoy this topic because the conversation today was off the charts, truly. Every week I feel like, the women who attend virtually say, this was the best one yet. No, this was the best one yet. So I hope you're catching the fever and you're loving the videos. And remember, leave us some comments. Let us know. Last week we talked about effortless being. And if you're not quite sure what that means, or you were not able to join us live or missed the video, I will put a link to that video at the end of this video. In the meantime, today we're going to be talking about creating duality. This is like a thought experience. There was a lot of thinking going on here today, a lot of like rumination and oh, wow, I never thought about that. So I'm excited to see what it does for you. So when we're talking about duality, first of all, what is duality? Well, duality is the illusion of separation from the infinite being. And as we know, if you've done any kind of inner work, any kind of spiritual work, which I'm sure you must have if you've been drawn to this video, you know that there's no such thing as separation. But there is a duality of the mind, where we allow the mind to take over and the mind to convince us that we are the mind and the mind is in charge. And we know that is not true. So the dualistic realm is kind of like creating an avatar of yourself and then believing it has autonomy over you. Just as you have autonomy over that avatar, you also have autonomy over your human experience. It was really interesting. I attended a networking event, I don't know, a while ago. And it was virtual, and when you arrived, you got to pick your avatar. So I picked a really fun avatar. She was kind of like a ninja with swords, and it was really fun walking around in that character, which I'm sure anyone who plays video games probably understands what I'm saying. And it's really fun and exciting, isn't it, to step into that role of the avatar and say, wow, now I have all these powers. Now I can do all of this. But that's the thing. We have so much power available to us at any time, but we allow ourselves to be convinced that we are restricted. And when we allow ourselves to feel like we're restricted, that's when we're in a very primal state of being. It's that fight, flight, or freeze. And we feel constricted, like we can't do anything or we're powerless and someone or something has power over us. So why, if we truly are all part of the one, why would an infinite formless being choose to create the illusion of separation? Why would that happen? Because in the grand scheme of things, in the grand design, why would we be born with all of this knowledge, all of this power, only to forget who we are and be required to live a life of struggle until we find our way back to the knowledge we were born with? The answer is because our life is meant to be effortless. We just don't believe that's true. And you know what I think is so exciting about this knowledge? We've been taught to believe that as we're aging, is like something to run away from. Aging is something that, no, we don't want to get older. We don't want to get older. But aging is what brings us closer to what we truly are. Think about that for a minute. We're born with all of this knowledge of where we come from, who we are, what we are, the power that we have. We are awareness itself in that in little infant form. And then as we're getting influences, outside influences telling us this is your name, this is who you are, this is what you need to grow up to be, this is what you can do and what you can't do. As all of that is being put upon us, We are then taking on that identity, and then, we struggle with that. And then as we age, we start moving towards something different, a different way to think about it. We spend years buying into the dualistic realm until something leads us to do the inner work, you know? And that something is the reason duality was created. Think about that. Why was duality created? Somewhere along our life's journey, we accepted the belief that we're meant to struggle, live with unhappiness, and be forever seeking peace of mind. When all the while, we're really searching for peace from the mind, because the mind exists in the dualistic realm. And we really are seeking that ability to rest as the infinite being, infinite awareness, effortless awareness. When we feel powerless, helpless, hopeless, anger, frustration, anxiety, these are all indications that you've journeyed into the dualistic realm. And all you have to do is make a choice. Hey, let's do a U-turn here. This is not the path I want to be on. Let's turn around and go back to that feel-good place. So if peace from the mind can be obtained with just a U-turn, why does it feel so real and cause us to struggle? The dualistic realm has been intent on getting you to underestimate your potential by getting you to focus on the personalized content of the human experience. It's simply doing the job it was meant to do. And when you buy into it every single time, you struggle and you believe in the struggle, you believe in the anxiety, the shame, the guilt, the frustration, you are assisting the dualistic realm to do its job. So, good job. Both you and the dualistic realm. We're all doing what we're meant to do. The thing is, we have the power, the ability, the knowledge, the know-how to say, you know what? Yeah, I've accepted that invitation a number of times, maybe more times than I really want to. I think I'll start declining that invitation of the dualistic realm. Because as infinite awareness, we are whole, complete, and unchanging. Yet without contrast, there was no way to experience who or what we truly are. So we created duality, light and shadow, love and fear, the seen and the unseen. All so we could step into form, forget, remember, and return. You are not your body, and you are not your emotions, and you are not your mind. That voice you hear in your head, it isn't you. That voice is your mind, and you are not your mind. You are the infinite being, God, source, creator, all there is. You have all the power. This isn't just theory, it's an activation to remember that you are the infinite being. What do I mean by an activation? Well, as this information is being saturated for you, communicated to you, communing with this information, you're either feeling good about it or you're feeling resistant to it. So if you're feeling resistant to it, chances are you're not ready for this information yet. But if there's something sparking within you, something that's causing you to sit up and take notice. Yeah, this is an activation for you to remember what you are. Have you ever heard this saying by Albert Einstein? You can't solve a problem with the same mind that created it. When I very first heard this, I thought it meant that we have to go find another person to help us figure out our mind, to figure out what the heck's going on in our mind. But the two minds that is being talked about, being referenced to in this, is the conscious and the subconscious, the dualistic realm, the dualistic mind, and the infinite mind, the infinite being, infinite awareness. There's that duality. So, while it's true that others can be a guide for us, no teacher, no book, no path, no philosophy can give you what you want or what you're seeking, because what you're seeking is already you. It's already part of you. After all, does it really make any sense that an infinite being would not give us complete autonomy to be self-healing? Whatever is going on in the mind, how much sense does it make that we would really have to stay in the mind, in that dualistic realm, and struggle with it? Wouldn't you think that we also have the tools to say, oh, okay, I don't need to struggle anymore? We are conditioned to believe that we are the dualistic person. An effortless being is available if we need it. But it's the other way around. We are the infinite being, and we can engage with the dualistic realm when and if we choose to. Most forms of spirituality teach the idea that you are a person, and then you have an experience of unity and unity consciousness, and then you're back as a person again. Because we're conditioned to believe this, it keeps us engaged in the dualistic realm. That place where we experience the contrasts that we prefer not to experience. Instead of remembering, we are always resting as effortless being. And duality, that's available for us if we choose to engage in it. When we're struggling, we know that's not real. We can tell ourselves it's not real, but this is the mind trying to heal the mind. Remember that Einstein quote? This takes effort, and effort keeps us in the dualistic realm. Remember, we are the effortless being. Life is meant to be effortless for us. Existence is meant to be effortless. So if we're struggling, it's not real. But trying to convince ourselves that it's not real is not what's going to move us from that primal state of being. Duality is there to remind us it may be time to free ourselves from the mind by exiting the ride of duality. You could say, hey, I've been on this ride long enough. I'm ready to get off this ride and ride something that I enjoy a lot more. We can choose to turn off the dualistic mode and rest naturally as unity consciousness. Unity consciousness allows you to effortlessly choose the experiences you prefer. For example, let's say you're receiving invitations to experience financial lack and limitation. If the invitation creates anxiety for you, step away from the mind. Now, if you want to know, like, how do I step away from the mind? How do I do that? The simplest way, exactly what I'm doing right now, close your eyes and focus on the backs of your eyelids. When you do that, you immediately shift from the mind to effortless being. And then allow awareness to take over. Simply just allow awareness and tell yourself, there is impersonal, effortless awareness of the light in the room, the sound of my breathing, the sound of a bird chirping outside. All of these things are effortless and they're going on around you. There's nothing you need to do to make that happen. So if you're feeling anxiety, remember, it's just waves coming in and going out, and coming in and going out. You're the only one that can make those waves a tidal wave. And you're the only one that can allow those waves to effortlessly flow back and forth. So if anxiety is coming up for you, as we're talking about in this example, simply close the eyes and focus on the back of the eyelids and say, there is impersonal, effortless awareness of an invitation into anxiety. Remember, we're removing the words I, me, and mine, because when we use those words, we put ourselves into the dualistic, the personalization, the little I, the ego of self, instead of the big I, which is the infinite being that we are, the all-powerful, the creator, source of all there is. Because even an invitation of anxiety can arise within unity consciousness. It's just that you don't experience it personally and you don't energize it when you stay away from the words I, me, and mine, and you allow effortless being to be your resting point. Unity consciousness is the most energetically and economical experience. It returns the mental, physical, and emotional realms to balance because the energetic expenditure in the mental realm is withdrawn. And as a result of the mental realm becoming quiet, the emotions become quiet, then the physical realm returns to balance as well. And that's where you bring things back to balance. And you might already realize or have a practice of doing this. Maybe breathing brings you back to this, meditation brings you back to this, but we don't have to do anything. There's no practice needed. Something like, oh, I have to go sit in a corner and do this in order to feel calm, in order to free myself from the mind. It's resting as effortless being because that's what you are. So you hold all the power. Remember this. You hold all the power when you rest as effortless, infinite awareness, and duality is your greatest gift to remind you of that. Take a deep breath. How does that make you feel? Breathe in, let it go. Duality is your greatest gift. It's that indication of, oh, okay, yeah, this is where I want to make the U-turn, or, oh, this is where I want to keep moving forward. And if you keep moving forward, even though you're in that dualistic realm and you are feeling contrast left and right, it's okay, right? You have the power. There's no right or wrong. You get to choose what you do in any given moment and with any experience. You are powerful. And you are powerful because you were born with free will. You have a choice. And this is how we expand and create the collective expansion with everyone involved. I would love to know your comments. Leave some comments. Let us know what you think about this. Let me know what your thoughts are. And if you need any kind of support with this type of information, please visit me at masteringyourbeliefs.com. In the meantime, this is Nancy Muller, the one and only Life Sensei, saying ciao for now.